Imagine a prince exiled for decades stepping onto foreign soil, not as an enemy, but as a potential ally. Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, forced to flee Iran amidst a revolution, is now part of an alliance that could alter the balance of power in the Middle East. But here's a twist that no one saw coming. Rumors suggest his mother, Queen Farah Pahlavi, is on the verge of a dramatic return to Iran, and she may not be going alone. Israel, of all nations, is rumored to support this royal comeback. Why would they back an exiled queen? And what impact could this have on Iran's future? Before we dive deep into this unfolding drama, let's go back to the very beginning. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe below for more compelling stories like this one. Farah was just an average girl born on October 13, 1938 to an affluent and aristocratic family in Tehran, Iran. Her grandfather had served as a diplomat and the Persian envoy to the Romanov court in St. Petersburg, Russia. Her father also served as an officer in the Imperial Iranian Armed Forces. The experiences of these men would later be a great influence in Farah's life. Life changed drastically for Farah when her father passed away, leaving the family in financial hardship, which changed their luxurious lifestyle to a middle-class standard. But life was not so bad. Admittedly, unlike today, Iran was a fairly progressive state in the 1950s with great regard for women's rights and education. The public fund allowed many Iranian students, including females, to pursue their studies overseas. Among the girls who went to study in Paris was Farah Diba. Before enrolling at Lycée Razi, Farah attended the French Jeanne d'Arc school, where she studied until she was 16. Later, she pursued architecture at the École Spéciale d'Architecture in Paris. It should be noted that this was a bold choice. It was rare for Iranian women to go for courses and career choices like architecture. She excelled, both as an academic and a sportsman, especially in basketball, where she served as team captain for quite a while. So it was no surprise when Iranian Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi met with the Iranian students abroad during his travels in 1959, he couldn't help but notice the striking, strong-willed 20-year-old woman, full of potential. It did not matter that he was 2 decades older than her and that he had gone through 2 failed marriages. He had been married to an Egyptian princess, Princess Fawzia, who had borne a daughter for him but had to go their separate ways due to personal differences and disputes. His second marriage was equally short-lived. The nation needed male heirs, and Queen Soraya, his second wife, was unable to bear children, which led to their divorce. So, in 1959, 40-year-old Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was on the verge of getting himself a new wife. It goes without saying that, to bear heirs, his chosen one had to be youthful and in good health. And Farah was that woman. Not only was she from a decent family that had served the nation and monarchy well, but she was also a brilliant young lady with great foresight and vision. And when it comes to love, as the saying goes, age is just a number. Farah and the Shah fell in love, and a few months later, that same year, they got married. The two had a luxurious wedding that had the world press talking for weeks. The bride looked stylish in a gown created by Yves Saint Laurent, who was a designer for the Dior brand at the time. The wedding tiara, which weighed 2 kilograms and had 325 diamonds, was ordered from renowned U.S. jeweler Harry Winston. The groom wore the conventional military outfit of a royal leader. For one, this couple sure loves the life of luxury, and they are making good use of it. Well, who wouldn't? A year after the grand ceremonies, the Shah's long-awaited blessing came to reality. The new queen gave birth to a son, Prince Reza Pahlavi. Princess Farnaz Pahlavi was born 2 years later. Then Prince Alireza Pahlavi, the second boy, showed up. Princess Layla Pahlavi was born in March 1970, marking the couple's 4th child. Queen Farah gained widespread recognition for her humanitarian services to the people, as a woman and also as queen, particularly in advocating for women's rights and advancing education. She played an important role in promoting modernity and cultural development in Iran. In addition to this, she supported 24 organizations focused on education, health, and culture. One of her most notable contributions was her generous financial support for the Tehran Museum of Contemporary Art. For a while, it seemed the queen was living her happily ever after, until it all came crashing down. For one, behind the surface of the humanitarian activities were deeper political activities taking place, actions that the elites were not buying into. This would end up resulting in long-term war for the monarchy. Shah Mohammad had always had the mind to reform the archaic system of Iran into a working system that would compete with the fast-growing civilization of every other leading nation. He envisioned Iran as a more industrialized, secular, and westernized nation under his rule. In his early reigns as Shah, he championed the White Revolution, a reform movement aimed at modernizing Iran. The major goals were to overhaul Iran's land ownership system, improve education, revitalize the economy, and advance women's rights. To achieve this, he had to reduce the power of the country's entrenched elites. In 1967, the Shah, determined to get his vision for Iran established by force, declared himself Emperor of Iran and his wife Empress. The couple had an opulent coronation ceremony at a Tehran palace, and the Shah named his wife regent in case he passed away or became incapacitated before the crown prince turned 21. This was a very unusual appointment of a woman as regent in the Muslim monarchy. Well, this did not make many people happy. This modernization drive coincided with an increasingly authoritarian regime. The Shah's centralized power and reliance on the Savak, an intelligence agency that also served as secret police, led to widespread criticism, especially from the religious and cultural leaders. Eventually, a nationwide protest began. In response to mounting dissatisfaction and anti-Shah protests, the Iranian Revolution got underway in late 1978 and resulted in the Shah's administration being overthrown in early 1979. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, the future supreme leader of Iran, spearheaded the revolution. A swift regression occurred in the women's rights movement. Farah Parsa, a female Iranian minister of education, was murdered by firing squad, and wearing the headscarf became mandatory. It then became that many of the privileges women had been accorded were taken away. Recalling the revolution, Farah admitted, "It was very sad and very hard, and we couldn't understand why our people were going in this direction when Iran was doing so much and moving forward." After months of strikes and violent protests, Farah knew she and her family were going to die if they did not leave the country. So, in January 1979, the royal family secretly fled their beloved country to Egypt. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned from his exile in France to lead the Islamic Revolution shortly after the monarch, and he established an Islamic republic that is still in power today and is known for its harsh laws and grave violations of human rights. 18 months after their exile, the Shah passed away in Egypt after battling cancer. Nearly 2 decades later, their youngest daughter died from an overdose at the age of 33 in London. 11 years after this, Farah's youngest son, Ali Reza, took his life at 44 after battling depression for years. Farah once expressed during an online chat that she has had a very interesting life, both very hard and very beautiful. While many would feel betrayed by their country after the kind of experience the royal family had, Farah never relented on the issues of her country. Even while living in the US, the 86-year-old empress continues to advocate for human rights in Iran, and this includes peace in her home nation. Therefore, many were not shocked when Israel summoned Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi in 2023, but rather optimistic that perhaps Iranians would be able to relive their progressive past and enjoy the same rights and benefits as previously. This invitation signals Israel's opposition to the Islamic Republic and positions Pahlavi as the key leader of this movement. This could also mean that the royal family may take over their throne and return to their homeland, continuing the great vision the Shah started over 50 years ago. This, of course, would mean another revolution. But what does all of this mean for the future of Iran? Could this really be the start of something bigger? While some believe the royal family could finally return to power, others are bracing for the shockwaves this could send through the region. And trust me, this is not the only shocking story making waves right now. Speaking of shocks, imagine being a music icon adored by millions, and then suddenly, in front of a crowd, you slap a fan in the face. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's exactly what happened with Amr Diab, and the real reason behind it is wild. Click on the screen now to find out what really caused that slap. It's a story you won't believe.